Guided demonstration. Now that we understood the complete patch application steps, now it's time to show you how to apply a patch in Oracle EPS release 12i instance. So what I'll do is I will simply follow the steps that I've shown you. I will skip the first 3 steps that we have already done it, since that's something which is done outside the system, and backing up of the system, we do have the backup already. So we'll start with step number 4, shutting down the service. Now before I go and start shutting down the service, I will tell you the kind of issue that we are facing and the patch that I will be applying to troubleshoot that issue, and hopefully I hope that that patch will resolve that issue. So to show you the issue, I'll go to Oracle Applications instance. So I've logged in as a user operations, and I have gone to a responsibility iProcurement, and when I'm going to the contractor requests, I'm getting a message out here, some kind of an error. Alright, so I click on that. Look at this, it's giving me some error, and when I click on this details of this error, it's giving me some illegal argument exception error. So I've for demonstration purposes for this one, I have downloaded a patch, and that's what we will be applying to our instance. So let me do, first thing is you need to log out from the front end. Okay, once you're done with that, let's go to the server. Okay, now as I've said, first you need to shut down all the services in application tier. So let's do that first, then we'll come back to the steps. Okay, then we'll execute step number 5. So let's first shut down the application tier. So go to the server now. Okay, and now for shutting down the application tier, I've got a script out here. It's very easy. Alright, so I simply run this one, and that will shut down the application tier. So it will ask apps user and password. So after giving that, it will execute the script to shut down all the Oracle process managers. In a demonstration environment, it's usually pretty fast, so it just takes a minute to do that. So now that it's done, we can actually check the services whether they are running or not by executing this command. Hold on. Yeah, to check the status of the process. So look at this. Now it's not able to connect to the server itself, means that none of the processes are actually running. So let me just clear that off. Now let's go back to the presentation. So we are done with this. Now we'll move on to the next step, bring the instance in maintenance mode using Admin utility. So let's do that. So what you need to do, you need to first set up your environment to do that. So in my case, it is already set up. Setting up environment means you have to set up the application tier environment. Okay, so but just to demonstrate you, what you need to do is you need to set up basically these AD top directory, okay, and your SID and so on. So all you need to do is run things like this, and assuming that if you have already configured it in the bash file of your Apple Manager user, then ignore it. Okay, so once you run with this one, then what you need to do is you need to call the Admin utility to bring the system in maintenance mode. Now as you would recall, all that we are doing now currently using Apple Manager user. Okay, so I'll just clear the screen, and now I will call Admin. Okay, now it asks a couple of questions. Is this the correct Apple top? I simply press enter. The defaults are given in the brackets out here. Okay, so all the options that you will see, the defaults will be given right there. Now file name adadmin.log, so any issues that comes in applying the patch will go in this file name, or sorry, I should say any issues coming with the admin will go in this log file, not the patch. That's a different one. Okay, now simply enter all the defaults, and then it's asking for the system password, which I just provided, apps password. Okay, now it's running a couple of processes in the background, and then you will reach this main menu for admin administration menu. So now to change the maintenance mode, you need to go to option number 5 in the menu. So simply click number 5 and then enable the maintenance mode. So number 1 is to enable the maintenance mode. Once you do that, as you could see, successfully enabled maintenance mode. So you can press the enter key and it will bring you back to the menu for maintenance, which you will utilize it later. So don't close this session, let this be open. And now what we'll do, let's open another session, okay, in the terminal, and then again log in as Apple Manager user. So in my case, Oracle user has got both database manager as well as Apple Manager combined into one user. Okay, now let's go back to presentation and see what's the next step. So we have done this, bring the instance in maintenance mode using admin utility, complete pre-install patch application if any, which has been specified in readme.txt. So I'll go to the patch now to see if there are any steps that we need to perform. So that's the file, zip file, which was downloaded. So I will simply extract that zip file. So I say extract here. Okay, so open this one. So this is the patch file. Now as you could see, patch file is named with a patch number, patch directory is named with a patch number. Now go into the directory and there is a readme file out there. Okay, open that, and let me open that using this one, and let's see if there are any instructions out here. So scroll down slowly. So pre-install task, you must shut down all application tier services before performing the task. Now there are no other tasks to be performed in this section, so that's what we have done it. So apply the patch, simply call the patch driver file. Okay, that's what we will do it. Alright, so there are, in fact, no other post-install task out here. Okay, and no pre-install task. So having said that, let's go back to Oracle system and start applying the patch. Now before I do that, I'll go back to the presentation and let's visit this side, the right hand side corner for applying patch. So what you need to do is set up the environment first, like AD top directory, install top directory, system ID and so on. Then apply the patch using Adpatch utility. Okay, so let's do that. Now I'm here. Now, so first thing that we have is to set up the environment. So in my case, I have not set it up because I want to always demonstrate this part to you so that you know what has to be done. Okay, so once you're done with that, now what you need to do is you need to, it's better you change the directory to the patch directory. Okay, so what I do is I say cd /mnt. mnt is the place where my patch directory is located. So currently my this mount directory is is not mounted. Okay, that's what is lying in the host system. Let me just quickly mount this directory so that we can see the shared folder from the host system out here. I'll open another session, okay, and then I've got a very quick command to mount it, which is, hold on, yeah, that's the command, as you could see. So I'll just mount it. Now other thing that sorry, I would like to say is you must give permissions to the patch directory to your Apple Manager user so that it can execute the patch. Okay, so give quick permissions, you know, to the patch. So let's first change the directory to make sure. So you've got a number of directories. So our directory was demo, right? So let me just change it to demo. So within that you've got the patch directory out here. That's the patch directory. So I need to simply change the permissions on this. And give the directory here. So it will change the permission. Now on the safe side I'm just giving 777, but in real production environment that doesn't happen. Okay, oh sorry about that. So what we need to do it here is you need to give the demo as well. Yeah, so by that changes the permissions, and finally you change the ownership rights to Apple Manager user. So as I said, in my case Oracle user has got both database manager as well as Apple Manager built in. So once I do that, now I can easily execute the patch. So let's go back to the session where we were. Okay, let me just minimize this. So what you need to do it is you need to simply change the directory to the patch directory. Okay, so change to the patch directory. So that's where my patch is lying. Okay, where is my patch? As you could see, this is my patch directory. What's most important in this is the driver file out here. Okay, this file. Well, let me just copy it. We'll see that in a while. Now let's go back to presentation to understand what's the next step. Okay, now apply patch using Adpatch utility. That's all. So we need to simply execute Adpatch now, and if there are any failures then it will be shown right on the console, and we need to fix that and restart the Adpatch. So let's hope for the best. So I go back to the terminal. Now I simply type Adpatch and hit the enter, and as you could see it'll ask couple of details from me. Is this the correct Apple top? And you know, the default is yes, so I will accept all the defaults. File name, and I don't want to activate this feature, and simply hit enter for accepting the defaults. Is this the correct database? Yes it is. And the system password, the app's password, and finally it will execute a couple of background processes, and finally it will ask us the patch directory. Okay, if we did not set up the patch directory then something else would have come. The current directory would have come here, but in our case, since we already set up, the patch directory has come. So yes, this is our patch directory, and then please enter the name of your auto patch driver file. That's what is most important. That driver file is actually the something that calls the patch, whole patch. Okay, so I paste that file name and then simply hit the enter button, and that's how, as you could see, it started applying the patch. Since this is comparatively smaller patch, it won't take much time to apply this patch. The whole idea is to demonstrate you how to apply a patch using admin utility and the other processes involved around that. So what I'll do now is, I think it's better I pause it for some time, and then once the patch completes, or if there are any errors, then I will show you how the errors are shown, or when the patch. Oh wow, that was fast. Look, as I said, that was a small patch, so it finished very fast. So as you could see out here, let's go up and see auto patch is complete, and if there are any errors and logs, it will be going in this directory. Okay, so you can see the information right here. So once you're done with applying the patch, what you need to do it is, you need to disable the maintenance mode and then restart the application services, and then go back and check whether your application you're able to access it and the patch that you've applied for a bug is fixed or not. Alright, so let's go to other session wherein I've started the maintenance mode. So I will now disable the maintenance mode, so it is same utility. Okay, add admin utility. So I simply type to here for disabling the maintenance mode. So as you could see, it is now disabled, and now I return to the main menu and I'll exit. I don't need this add admin anymore because the patch application has been complete. Alright, now what I'll do is I will start my application services. So to start your application services, all you have to do is just pass the command to start this one, adstrtal.sh file you need to call. Okay, hit the enter and now give apps password, and it will quickly start the application tire, and then we can go and check whether we are able to log in the applications or not. It doesn't take too long unless there is an error. So while this is starting, let's do one thing. Alright, so it's just started the application services without any error. So as you could see, it is exited with a status of 0, which indicates there are no errors in starting application services. Now I minimize this and I go to the front end, and let's try to log in. So if the login page comes, which means that the application server has started. So the login form has now come, which at least tells that all the application services have been started. There are no issues in starting. Now let's go to the presentation and see what's the next step. So we have completed this part, applying complete patch application. Then what comes next is the post install activities, right? So you need to check log files of warning and errors. So in our case there were no errors. Complete post install activities. So in our case it was a small patch, so there were no post install activities. Recompile all invalid objects in the database. Optionally use admin to complete this task. Recompile when it usually happens if it's a large patch, and in such circumstances the Adpatch itself will execute, or it's usually inbuilt in the patch itself to execute the command for recompiling all the invalid objects, and optionally that's done using admin utility. Now in our case it's a small patch, so we don't really need to recompile the invalid objects in this case. Then disable maintenance mode using admin utility, which is what we have done it. Fine. Restart application services. We have restarted the application services and tested it whether we are able to successfully restart our system by bringing the logging screen. Okay, now what's next is you need to test the impacted business process flows with the functional team and test whether the patch that was applied for the bug has been fixed or not. So in our case we were getting an error in Admrgpch contractor request form, right? So let's go and test whether that's been fixed or not. Okay, so go back and I will log in again as operations user. Now I will go and scroll down to Admrgpch to test the fix. So there you go, Admrgpch. And now I go to contractor requests, and now here you go. Now we are not seeing the error. So the patch has successfully resolved the error. We are not seeing that illegal arguments error anymore. So basically that completes the patch application demonstration and the whole step, the sequence of steps that you must take to apply a patch successfully.